Susan Solovic, she is CEO of SBTV, Small Business Expert. You watched the debate last night.
I did.
Along with all your followers on Facebook and Twitter.
That's right.
Just getting a read this morning. I mean, I heard the word small businesses, I think every other word the first 30 minutes.
There was a lot of emphasis.
How did each candidate do?
Well, you know, of course, the president's own party platform people were not real happy with his performance. But looking at just the small business issues, small business owners were really looking for specifics. There were certain things that they wanted to hear. They wanted to hear a plan. And so their performances aside in terms of the debate and their delivery, I think I'd have to give Mr. Romney an A and Mr. Obama a C based on what small businesses really needed to hear.
And that's what you were hearing from some of your Facebook and
That's what
Twitter
I was
followers.
hearing by far.
There was a lot of discussion over what constitutes a small business, with President Obama at one point asserting that Donald Trump is a small business. Let's actually take a listen to that right now if we can.
Donald Trump is a small business. And I know Donald Trump doesn't like to think of himself as small anything.
All right, so let's talk about definitions here. Sure. I mean, a good soundbite's getting a lot of play this morning. I know the Small Business Administration defines small businesses as anything with 500 employees or fewer.
Right.
Now, Donald Trump has many entities underneath him. What's your take on whether Trump qualifies?
Well, it's kind of an interesting question, honestly. I did a little research, and I think it's really ludicrous to think of Donald Trump as a small business, and he certainly wouldn't fit under the SBA guidelines. But what the president is talking about there is that most small businesses are taxed on individual tax returns as a pass-through entity. So I did a little Google search, and I found that Trump Enterprises is a limited liability company. That means as an LLC, you have the choice of making the election to be taxed as a corporation or as a partnership. So chances are he is being taxed as a pass-through entity, but that certainly doesn't throw him, in my opinion, into the small business coffers.
If you're looking at some of these small businesses in the 3%, the top 3% that would be affected by Obama's plan to let the Bush tax cuts expire for individuals earning $250,000 a year or more. That was sort of a bone of contention last night. What was Romney's response about that 3%?
Well, you know, they employ over half of all the employees who work for small businesses. So that's a sizable group of job creators. But here's the other thing that I think is important to note, that if you are earning $250,000 in your small business and you're paying tax on that in your individual tax rate, and that rate is going to go up and you know it's going to go up, why would you want to push to grow and to expand your revenues and to hire more people? It just doesn't make sense. I watched this show Mad Men. Have you ever seen that? Yes. You know, okay. So one of the young account executives there on Madison Avenue in the 60s said, you know, there's really no need to make over $40,000 a year because everything you make over that is going to go to the government. Small businesses look at this. They're struggling anyway. The tax code and keeping up with the tax burden is significantly harder on small businesses than it is in larger entities. So it is really a disincentive for small businesses to grow.
One thing that the candidates seemed to agree on last night was this need to close the skills gap, that small businesses have such a difficult time finding qualified workers. Now, Obama has a plan out there to sort of pair up with community colleges to get people sort of trained for jobs that they need. Romney seemed to actually sort of like that idea.
Yes, I mean, what's not to like about it? It's a good plan and a good strategy. What people often don't know is there are hundreds of thousands of unfilled jobs right now because businesses can't find the skilled labor that they need to fill those positions, which is really a shame. So to help small businesses and other businesses work with community colleges to create programs so that these students will come out prepared for those jobs is a good thing. It will get people back to work. It will help small businesses find the talent they need. There's nothing not to like about that program. Definitely good for small business.
All right, Susan Solovic, we got 2 more debates to go. We'll have you back and see if you think Obama raised his grade at that point.
That's great.
Thanks for being with us.